120 seconds. 110 seconds. 100 seconds. 90 seconds. 80 seconds. 70 seconds. 60 seconds. 50 seconds. 40 seconds. 30 seconds. 20 seconds. 10 seconds.
'My name's J. Stan McCauley.
I'm Naisha McCauley, and you're watching AccessTV.org.
All right, my friends, once again, of course, it is time to get our talk on. It's Morning Talk with me, your host, J. Stan McCauley, along with the champions of talk this morning. In the house, Friday Talk champion, Cleo Duke-Wright. Morning, Miss Cleo. How you doing?
Good morning, Stan. I'm doing pretty good.
How was your week?
Well, of course, it was busy, but we got by it. I had a couple of new adventures and taking care of a lady and learning some OT, occupational therapy, and they've been long days, tiring. Occupational therapists work very hard, very hard. Yeah. So that's what I've been learning this week.
So occupational therapy. Now, you're learning it. So are you doing this?
I'm taking the place of my friend who's away for the week. So she just trained me for a few days and to do certain things with this lady. And so, but you have to be thinking, you have to be, I get up, I'm a little stiff, I got aches and pains, my ankle hurts me. When I'm working with this lady, nothing hurts. All I'm thinking about is she all right? Am I doing this right? Am I doing that right? And when I get out of there, I'm walking straight as an arrow. It's like a miracle.
Now, you say she's training you. Are you the victim?
No.
Or are you the learner? I don't
I'm
like you.
the learner,
Uh-huh.
and I'm learning to take care of, do some OT with one of her patients.
Oh.
And so she says, I'm going to be gone for a week or so.
Mhm.
So can you just do this for this time? I'll train you. I'll show you what to do.
Mhm.
And so I trained last week, and I'm saying, oh my goodness, I'll never be able to do this. But I was doing this for a friend. So
Mhm.
I did it this week. She's not there. And what I was saying is I wake up usually in the morning kind of on the stiff side.
Mm.
And, my old injury, my broken ankle hurts, and so, I kind of stumble around for a little bit. But when I get to her, I don't think of anything. I don't hurt. I don't anything. I just think about what I need to do for her. So by the time I get out, this 3 hours I just do, and by the time I get out of there, I don't have any pains at all, and I'm walking so straight, and I'm saying, oh my goodness, where are all my aches and pains that I usually have every single day? They're gone.
Wow. So the occupational, the therapy is helping you as well as her.
That's right. That's right. And so I do a few manipulations with my husband, and now I shouldn't have done that. That was the mistake, Stan.
Why? So
Oh.
now,
Are you gonna? Cleo, my hand. You're gonna do my hand. You're gonna do my this. You're gonna do my that. Yeah, that was not the wisest thing that I did, but I'm learning a lot for myself, and hopefully I'm praying that I'm doing the right thing with her. I'm trying really hard to.
Wow. Well, you've been in healthcare your entire life.
Yeah, healthcare and ministry.
Nursing and ministry. And
Yep.
Ministering all to the needs of people.
My whole life, that's right. But at 14, started at St. Francis Hospital as a pinky,
Now,
and I've been doing.
what is
that.
What is a pinky?
You don't know what a pinky is?
I know what the candy stripers are, but I don't know what a pinky is.
Same thing,
Oh, okay.
but we called them because they gave us pink uniforms, pink smocks.
Oh, I got you. Okay, a little slow on the uptake.
So
there.
they called us they called us pinkies at that
Okay.
time, and I was there every week. Why is that funny?
I'm thinking
Why
like,
is that
it took me a
funny?
long time to realize Dunkin' Donuts. I was driving down the highway and I was with my wife. I'm like, oh my God, Dunkin' Donuts. It just hit me out of the blue. It took me, I was like,
Oh,
Dunkin', you dunk your donuts in the coffee, Dunkin' Donuts. I'm a little slow sometimes. Like the arrow on the FedEx truck,
Back then we worked with a lot of nuns. Hospital people ran hospitals, not corporations back then. And so you had to work with a lot of nuns. And they were scary. They were really scary.
They were mean.
Sometimes they would be. This nun used to give me a little paper. It wasn't any bigger than this. And she'd wrap it up and she'd give me, but it was this long. And you had to, do everything on the paper before you, so I learned about healthcare way back then.
All right, you did make a good point, though. I mean, once upon a time, healthcare was about ministering to the needs and giving you help. Now it's like profit. You're just a profit center. Once they've extracted all the money they can get from you, they kick you out. Like out in the cold.
Yeah, I remember when it first came, when I was a surgical technician, and they started bringing corporations in, and people from corporations, the whole atmosphere changed. And when I was in, when I worked for Soup Kitchen, social services, and the churches got together and they had this organization. It was then they brought corporations in. So attitudes and everything changes. Everything changes.
Well, they became corporate, and then they, every time they blink, they see money. ching
Yeah.
ching
Things
money.
started disappearing,
Right.
and now it wasn't the needs of the participants. Now it's the needs of the givers.
Like
to make them happy.
corporations in school lunch. You know, you had that used to be the cafeteria. There was the cafeteria, quote unquote, lady. There was the whole cafeteria crew. They actually made the food at school.
That's right.
Then the corporations came and took over. You know, they could reduce your tomato down to a packet of ketchup, and you know you could profit, and you know
No nutrition in
no nutrition.
When I went into my children's high school, of course they're older now.
Mm-hmm.
There were Coke machines. I said Coke machines and junk machines, and I couldn't believe it.
Well, there's a profit center there. If you could get that Coke contract in the schools, there's some big money to be made. And
So-
then a friend of a friend of a friend
We
has
turned
the
our-
contract.
Yep, turned our lives over to corporations
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. All right, I'm not talking about present company except I'm not talking. Cut it out. Cut it out.
No, they're different. They're not
Yeah,
like other
no,
companies.
I mean,
We're just messing with you guys.
I love young people going out there trying to do their thing.
Yeah, we're giving them a hard time. That's all.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
They're,
not,
they're not a corporation yet, though.
Yeah.
One day, you know, we have some special guests here in the studio, and they're young people, and it sounds strange to talk about young people because you know they don't have like gray on. They don't have no gray. They're young. They have no gray in their beards.
oh,
You
one or
know.
two strands there, but
Yeah.
that's all.
Their hair's not gray. That's all. They're stylishly gray. No, we have a couple of special guests this morning joining us, and they're friends of ours. We know June, and so we this is a little bit different because you know he's going to talk about a company that he and his partner bought. And he called me the other day, and we were talking. I said, "You all bought they done bought this company," and I was fascinated because the first person came to my mind was like, you know, what Puffy? Is it Puffy? Is it Puffy?
I think you go by Diddy.
Diddy. I don't know. You know, let's
Don't call him puppy.
Puffy. Was it what? He used to be Puffy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm all
I
right.
did it.
You might be right. He might have been.
Or
Diddy
is that
and went
somebody
back to
else?
Puffy. I'm not sure.
Diddy, Puffy. I don't know. Anyhow, he's like a multi-billionaire now. So you know, he flies everywhere. He got bodyguards. June left his bodyguards. I said, hey, they can't all come up in here now. You know, he got bodyguards out there, stretch limousine. They flew in this morning from L.A. Big time, you know. So now June is here, and he's going to talk to us a little bit about his newest venture. He's a businessman and entrepreneur, and I remember the very first time I talked to him, he was talking to me about just about business, and this was several years ago. So he let's introduce our special guest, and that would be none other than the one and only June. How you doing there, sir?
Good morning, Stan. Good morning, Cleo. How y'all doing?
Oh, I'm doing real good.
It seems like you have a new career coming.
A new career?
Yeah, OT.
Oh.
Oh yeah, there you go. Occupational therapist.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with that, right?
One tip: don't do business with family.
Oh, don't do business with family.
Oh, I've had several businesses, and my family has never been in it except to pull me out of my hot spots.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
my down times, help, but that's all.
So tell us a little bit. Tell our audience a little bit about who is June.
How you guys doing? I'm June. I grew up in Wilson, Connecticut, known as Windsor, a part of Windsor. I've just been an entrepreneur for a long time. I worked tobacco, had paper routes. Then I grew up. I had stores. I had a cell phone store, hat store.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I miss my stores because it allows me to connect with the people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, the businesses I'm doing now, you know, it's kind of low key.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have a Sprinter van, I have a tractor trailer,
Mm-hmm.
and then You know, we just bought a distillery.
They bought now. They bought a distillery. You just how did you come across buying a distillery? I think that's
Journal
fascinating.
Inquirer at a tax sale. No, I'm just kidding.
Go on.
I mean, the right place, right time.
Mm-hmm.
The offer came.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my partner Rupert.
Mm-hmm.
We seen the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
We like being able to control something from the ground up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like not you making the product and then we stick our name on it.
Mm-hmm.
This is the product that we own. We make it, bottle it, and distribute it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
That's fascinating.
How did you? I mean, did you know how to make it when you went in?
Nope.
See, you just like the OT.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything either.
We're apprentices to the business has been around for a little while. My partner will talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
But we're apprentices still. We're still being taught, you know, how to perfect what we purchased.
So the person who sold you it
It's still
is also training you.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a fabulous opportunity.
Yes.
Are they a much older person?
Yeah, I think they're in their 60s.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mhm.
not too bad.
No,
Yeah.
because the thing that comes to my mind is, because believe it or not, I think about that with accesstv.org.
Okay.
It's like, how do you, because unless you find someone that really is interested in learning the nuts and bolts, the detail, and sees the opportunity for what it is, and they're going to take it to the next level, but you got to find that right person, and you seem to be that right person for this particular industry. So,
But I think in any business, if you find a way to make the business attractive to the next person you want to hand it down to, then they'll see their interest in it. But you got to think like, well, I have children I have from 3 months up to 29 years old. So for me to speak to them about my businesses, I have to interact with them and make it favorable to them. Because when I was coming, what I liked and what made me get into business is probably different from what made them. So it's the same thing with your business, you know. I think that's the major thing. Like, you got to just find how to make it attractive to them, you know?
My last time I talked to you, you had a lot of different apartments. You owned houses, and you were the first person that kept coming to my mind during the pandemic. How people weren't paying their rent, this, that, and the third. How did you fare during the pandemic with your apartments? You had quite a few buildings. You know, a young man, he's got buildings all over the city.
I mean, I survived the pandemic. I didn't come up like a lot of people did, and I didn't lose my shirt. But after the pandemic, I got out of the properties. I sold the properties, and I got into the liquor business and the trucking business. So I look at it as during pandemic, people were drinking and products are moving. So you need vehicles and you need drinks.
That's an entrepreneur right there. Sees a need, and I got a solution. Wait a minute, focus. Okay, but I mean that's the essence of business.
Yeah, and I like it because like when people look at me, like, you know, when you talk to different people, everybody analyzes each other and feel like, oh, I'm smarter than Stan. Oh, Cleo, she's smarter than me. So when I talk to people that feel like they're smarter than me, I tell them like, I did this. I'm doing this. Hopefully they look at that and decide because they're smarter than me, they could do the same thing that I'm doing or something comparable. You don't have to jump right into what I'm doing. But if I've done business, that means you can do business. And that's the way I try to put the business out there. Sometimes people look at it as I'm bragging when I'm talking about my businesses, but I'm promoting it. But at the same time, I'm promoting business ownership. to my people.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, that's what I missed about having the stores.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have from little kids to the grown-ups.
Mm-hmm.
And even some grown-ups, they don't know how to get into the business
Mm-hmm.
or how to get into business, period. So as they come in for their products, I'm able to talk to them and give some of them some insight, you know?
So when it comes to business, do you find that people are they afraid? Do they think that they can't do it? Like what hinder? Because as you said, you know, like our people really need to get into business and ownership. There's the old saying, own or be owned. Having control of everything, the product from beginning to end, makes you very, very unique.
What I find with people is a lot of people are scared.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, they want to see theirs in their hand. You know, they want to be able to go to their mattress, lift it up,
Mm-hmm.
or go to their bank account and see their money in there.
Mm-hmm.
And they're scared to lose that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's what make a lot of people don't even pull the trigger.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the fear of not knowing, the fear of losing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but when you first go to this job, you're afraid that you're going to get this job.
Mm.
Then you're scared that you're going to get fired.
Mm.
Why not be afraid to lose on your own thing? Because
Mm-hmm.
when you win, you have more gains.
Mm-hmm.
You can go to work and make $60,000 a year, but
Mm-hmm.
you're working for Mr. Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
You can start your own business and make $60,000 a year, but you're doing it on your time.
Mm-hmm.
If your kids are sick, you can't bring them to work with you with Mr. Charlie. If your kids are sick with your business, like my kids were sick and had summer vacations and whatever, they came right to the stores.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
And I was daycare, I was summer vacation, I was whatever.
That's right.
Because I own my own business.
You bringing your kids? They my kids, my company. I can bring them where I want.
Exactly.
Right.
This is so similar to last week.
Mm.
This is so similar to last week. We had a guest last week, Dominic, who was an investor, and he wrote a little book
Okay.
about investing and how he could teach you how to invest your money in 60 minutes.
Invest in what?
And he's going to teach you how the market, how not to lose your shirt. And he talked about extremes.
Mm-hmm.
Extremes are rare. Losing everything, gaining everything.
Yeah.
And how you invest. And he made the book so simple that I was even relaxed about reading it.
Yeah.
So in this, and he hit the same topic, kind of what you're hitting, the fear of, and we don't really know anybody ever did that. And you know, my father had this thing. My father never voted in his life, and he said to my mother, though he didn't say it to us, my mother told us he said it. He said, "Black folks don't vote. That's for white folks." Well, I think we think that about a lot of things. That we're supposed to step back because that's not for us. You know, we see the suit. They must be smart.
Yeah.
But them suits aren't always.
No.
Some suits are not always so smart, and not always.
They're not
as
always there to
sincere.
help you.
Right.
Yeah, some
And
of
they're
the
not
suits are-
always sincere.
Exactly.
I mean, and they're scared too.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have those emotions, other people have those emotions. Only they have the backing, the history of doing it, and we don't. So that brings us to you guys who are going to give young people. They could look at you. Hey, this is for me too.
Yeah.
Just like it's for them. So it's something to look at.
Definitely.
You know, and that's a wonderful thing.
And it's not just young people, because
Right,
it's people.
right.
I'm 47. You know, I have 5 kids and 5 grandkids.
Mm-hmm.
So it's people our age and older that's also learning and getting inspired by some of the stuff that we're doing. I'm scared every day. You know, like I was an iron worker for 16 years and I quit because I didn't want that to be one of my plans.
Mm.
That was my A plan at first.
Mm-hmm.
Every day I wake up, could go do that. I kicked that to the curb. Now, every dollar I make is my dollar. I have to make it. If I don't make a dollar, I don't eat. It's not, if I go to work and I linger around at work, I'm gonna get a paycheck. If I don't kill it, I don't eat.
Mm.
So that's more motivation, you know?
Yes, that certainly is motivation. Now I've been in business also. Didn't quite have the I always had my backup. I never really went out there wholeheartedly like you did. Although I did quit a business a job that I'd had for many, many years. I went into I was a surgical tech, 2 children. I had my own home, and I just quit my job because American Airlines came to town, and I was gonna go to American Airlines. My family had a fit, but most of the people in my family, and I remember my uncle saying, as he was in his last days and he was dying, he said, "You know, I've been in this foundry my whole life since I was 17 years old. I ain't never done nothing else." And there was a sadness because he had dreams that he let go because he was afraid. And my father was the same way. He started a job when he was 18 years old. 44 years later, he was still there. And that, I say the job killed him because it was in a factory and he worked with a degreaser. And he sat there all day, wouldn't leave that degreaser. So they had dreams, but they were too afraid to go after them. And then there's people that they go out and get everything, kind of like me, but not quite. But they do nothing with it.
Yeah.
But they have the dream, but the fear cripples them.
Yeah.
So to look at people who their fear does not cripple. Your fear does not have to cripple you. Fear is not the most horrible thing in the world. Walk through it. You know, and you do have to walk through it, and it does hurt, and it's not easy. But once you get through it, you'll be okay.
Now you have become, you're an entrepreneur, businessman, and now you guys own a distillery. Mm-hmm. And so do you I'm looking at he's got a little table there, and they have 3 of their different products. So 5. Okay, 5 different products. Okay. And so what are they?
Well, I'll let my partner introduce that stuff.
Okay.
Last thing I want to say before I move, my fear was I watched my mom and dad work. And I watched my dad go to work, come home, eat, shower, go to another job. And I said, this man is like a robot, you know? And I always told myself I couldn't do that for 20, 30 years. And I think that made me rebellious. And that put me to the point where I am now. Because to me, my dad wasn't in control of his time. I respect him because he got us where we are now. But I didn't like how it went down, you know? So on that note.
All right. Well, we'll take a short break. We'll be right back with June's partner, Rupert. And we'll talk a little bit more about owning a distillery. All right. Stick and stay. It's Morning Talk. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
Every bad political decision is made by a politician elected to office. So if you think your vote doesn't matter, just remember this. There are people sitting with politicians in a back room making deals about your future, making policies about your children, making decisions about your neighborhood. To them, you are just a vote. You are not their cause. You are just a vote. Elections have consequences, and if you don't vote, you are actually voting to keep these people in power to work against you. Now more than ever, you need to make your vote count. It's time to clear the air and vote for a mayor that is unbought, unbossed, trusted, and accountable to you, the constituent. My name is J. Stan McCauley, and I am an independent thinker, and I approve this message. I'm asking you for your vote on Tuesday, September the 12th, 2023, in the Democratic Party primary election for mayor of the city of Hartford. For more information, visit McCauleyformayor.com. Have the courage to vote your conscience and vote for the name you trust and know. Vote J. Stan McCauley for mayor.
Hi,
My name's J. Stan McCauley.
I'm Naisha McCauley, and you're watching AccessTV.org.
All right, my friends, welcome back. Jay Hogarth bringing us in from the break. We're talking with our special guests this morning, June and Rupert, and talking about They bought a distillery, the Branford Distillery. So joining us now is the co-owner, Mr. Rupert. Sir, welcome.
Thank you. Good morning, Stan. Good morning, Cleo. I'm Rupert.
Good morning.
How y'all doing?
Good morning. Good morning.
Good.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So, what brings you to the distillery business?
Like you said, some opportunity come across, you have to jump. It was a great opportunity. Like my partner said earlier, we had to control the owner from the ground up. We controlled everything, so it was a great opportunity.
Wow. How long have you been doing like entrepreneurial stuff? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Me, this was my first main adventure. I'm Rupert. I grew up in Windsor in the Hartford area. My family migrated here in the early 80s. I'm from Jamaica. So I've been working right now a steady job. I've been at Jacob's Vehicle for 25 years. I'm just a family man. But the opportunity came. Me and June sat down, we talked, and it was a great opportunity.
Wow. So tell us a little bit about these products that you have.
Okay, Branford Distillery is a company that's been around 11 years. Me and June purchased like 8th month. We bought the company. We're gonna revamp it. We have a sweet rice vodka. We have a gluten-free vodka similar to Tito's, but a lot of people say smoother than Tito's. We have two Asian spirits, a soju and a baijiu. The baijiu is made out of a singham grain. A lot of people say it got a tequila taste. It's real smooth.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a very smooth whiskey bourbon,
Mm-hmm.
and it's lady friendly.
Mm-hmm. Now,
Lady
what
friendly.
what does lady friendly mean?
It's smooth when it goes down. It's not a harsh burn. Most whiskey and bourbon have a burn going down. It's real smooth and subtle. It burns at the bottom and it's smooth.
Uh-huh. All right, that's very interesting. Go on.
No, I was listening to you.
No, I because well, I personally I'm not a drinker,
Are you not a drinker? Okay.
but I know there's a whole lot of people that do drink.
well, if
so
if you ever did try the product,
mm-hmm.
it'll be very smooth and subtle. It's not overpowering to you.
Okay. Now I did once upon a time
Okay.
in my prudish state. I'm kind of like a prude, between a cross between a prude and a nerd. I don't know what that turns into. I guess a Stan, whatever the case is. But, I'm gonna really be like super nerd now. Like I had a rum and coke once. So, and it tastes delicious.
Did it?
It actually tastes delicious. I was just too cheap to drink because
Oh.
when the guy told me how much it was, that was it.
How long ago was that?
We going back like 1980s.
So Roman Coke like was 50 cents.
Nah, it was like it was $2. It was $2.50, and I was like, what? Are you kidding? Because it was like this much, and so I'm like, I'm a volume drinker.
Oh, he shortchanged you. That was a problem.
No, I'm looking like for something like $2.50 at that time. I'm looking like 2 liters or something.
Oh wow!
two quarts. This is back when the quarts before the liters. And so I'm like, I can't cost that much for this little. And so it was explained to me, people are not drinking here to quench their thirst, Stan. They want to set their mind in a certain place. And so it took me a while to figure all that out.
He was taking care of you, Stan. He gave you a liter. I don't think you'd have made it home that night.
No, I wouldn't have made it up off the...
For $2.50.
So talk to me about, June said that during the pandemic, he noticed that people were drinking. And that's true. Of all the stores they closed,
Liquor stores open.
they kept the liquor stores open.
During the pandemic, it was essential workers, liquor stores, certain opportunities. So, so it was a great opportunity. So it was a great business to get into. So if we ever had to go back through, it's one thing that always be open is liquor.
Wow.
Yeah, and during the pandemic, that the government was giving you extra money. You had extra money to go buy that liquor, and you didn't have to pay your rent.
Oh, don't say.
But that's true. You
didn't have to pay your. When I found out that people didn't have to pay their rent, at that time I was paying rent. I was really upset. I said, well, what are the landlords gonna do? Do they have to pay their mortgage? If the landlords don't have to pay their mortgage, then I can see something. But the landlords still had to pay their mortgage,
Yes.
and the people didn't have to pay their rent. So, needless to say, of course, my landlords may not agree with me, but I never missed a payment. I never not paid my rent. Something that was keeping the roof over my head.
Yes.
I was not going, because all I could think about is when they stop this, I'll owe this man a lot of money, and I wasn't going to do that. So I paid my rent every month because, of course, the government was giving me extra money during that time I was on a break from working in the summertime, because I didn't work in the summer. They were giving me extra money, and I said, wow, how did they give me all this money? So I saved that money.
That was good.
And paid my bills up. But I have a question to ask you.
Yes.
Okay, you now you're in the liquor business, but my head is saying to me, I'm a storyteller.
No, go ahead.
My head is saying to me, oh, this man wanted to sell his distillery, and these people came together. So he takes them in and he says, come on, guys, I'll show you. I'll show you how to make the liquor. I'll show you everything. You'll be right, So I have this man talking to you about owning this distillery, and you guys going in there and learning how to make this liquor. So that's the part that fascinates me, that you actually know how or learning how to make it, and the owner is staying there, helping you get to the point where you want to get. Don't you? Is that unusual?
It's fascinating, but I
think that's.
I don't know if it's unusual, but it doesn't sound like it would be unusual. I think it's unusual if you're not in business and you don't, because it seems to me that every business at some point needs to transfer. So
Yes.
how do you, and it's a unique thing. It's not like there's 1,000 people waiting to buy the business. You have to connect with that's very unique. The individuals out there, but how do you connect to them?
Yeah, but he could also see my head. Sawyer the business had a really good line. I don't know if you would have sold. You have good lines too. I mean, you have a really good line. Get you all excited about this, and you guys saying, "Yeah, this is," and he would have good points, and you would have given him the money, and he'd have walked. And you would have been in this distillery to make do you see what I'm saying? And you would have been in a bad place because you wouldn't know how to make the liquor.
That's true. But like anything, when you take a venture, we put our heart into it. So we put a lot of work into learning certain stuff and to progress with the liquor business. But so far, it's been a venture. We learned a lot of new stuff, learning how to do it. But there's a lot more to just make a liquor. There's a lot to the business.
I get mad because there are liquor stores on every corner, every other corner. I get that. That's really upsetting to me. And to see people, I bought some alcohol yesterday. I went and bought my sherry and
the thing is, we have to drink in moderations. We're not telling you to go out there drinking. Everything is done in moderation.
Being responsible.
Right, and that's true. But what I'm saying is, the other liquor stores have also seen the opportunity that when people are distressed or their life is not going good, many times they turn to liquor. So they're gonna drink, just like just like June said, they're gonna drink. So now there's a liquor store everywhere. You can't walk 10 feet. I'm on Woodland Street. Now if I go this way to the liquor
side?
store, the Sigourney side. When I go up to Farmington Avenue,
Okay.
Sigourney side, I don't go that way because I'm nervous because there's people always gathering around the liquor stores, and sometimes there's deals going down and stuff. I'm nervous here, so I go the other way to the other liquor store where there is nobody hanging around, and the people who work in the store know about the liquor, so they could tell me, "Oh, don't buy that, buy this," because I don't know one from another. And so I have a pleasant visit there, and then I can come back. So, but they're everywhere.
Well, I guess if you consider that every restaurant you go to has a bar. Every restaurant. Like my favorite chocolate dessert is at Capitol Grill.
Okay.
All right. And, I don't really want to go there for a meal. I just want the dessert. So, I'm not going in there, sit down and just order a dessert. I'll go in there. But I have to go to the bar to get the dessert. And you can't hardly get in there. You can't get into the bar section of the restaurant because there's people, and there's like 3 or 4 people back there. It's amazing to me. I guess it's like making anything else, but they're making drinks and they're shaking stuff and they're moving stuff around and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, am I the invisible guy up in here? Because no one even asked, "Can I help you, sir?" So finally, it took me 20 minutes just to order a piece of cake. I'm serious. And you can't call it in. You can't call it in.
Oh, wow.
So you gotta like just wait. But it would be the same thing if I was ordering a drink. So it seems that drinks are a very big part of the social fabric, and
Well, that always has been.
you know, and it always has been. What kind of pushback do you like say like what Cleo was talking about? How much does that impact your business and the decision making? Because as you said, there's a lot more to managing a company like this than
What do you mean
people may
pushback?
think.
With people drinking all the time?
Well, not people drinking all the time, because that's not in my opinion, that's not the fault of the person who's manufacturing. It's the part of the person who's using. We didn't get all controversial because we go real
No,
deep
I
on
just
it.
asked you.
But the user is the one with the issue.
Right.
Right. So, adults have beverages.
I look at it, there ain't really no pushback to it. It's like anything. Some people overeat. Some people, there's a lot of different stuff. Everybody got a vice.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you got to figure out your vice and control it in life.
Mm-hmm.
Some people might overwork. They like to work, do some people over exercise. It's different stuff. But the opportunity was opportunity we couldn't pass.
Mm-hmm.
We two young black male. I knew June since we 14. We've been working tobacco. So we have a history of working together. We've just been revolving over the years in different opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
So this is just a different opportunity. We're just trying to grow our company to worldwide. We could leave a legacy for our kids and bring other people in, give our people opportunity to work. Just make it like anybody else, a big family.
Mm-hmm. Wow, I'm totally fascinated when June called me and told me. I'm totally fascinated. Totally fascinated.
Do you don't sell this, do you? I mean, you sell it to stores, right? Or do you sell it yourself? How do you distribute?
We self-distribute. So we go to the
you
stores,
do?
get a contract, we bring it to them. We self-distribute. Well, one thing we did before we go to a distributor, we want to learn the business from the ground up, so we know what we're getting into. So we know if we're getting cheated or if it's a good price. So everything right now is hands-on, from the grounds up till it gets to the store, to your hands. Retouch it to your hands. So it's all love. It's family.
Wow.
But and also too, we have merch coming soon. We have hats, shirts, everything.
Okay, so you guys are like you from top to bottom. So inventory, everything, the product, the ingredients,
Control everything.
market for how much stuff costs.
Yeah, everything we touch, from the grains, for the bottles, everything is hands-on. We pick everything, selected, the labels, everything. Just been a good adventure. Because when we first started, all the labels was different. This is our new labels right now. But we've been switching labels, finding the right product to fit, and just to get everything of this. So everything is real hands-on.
Wow. And how long have you been doing this?
8 months.
8 months.
8 months, yes.
Wow. That's fascinating. Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. So are you guys keeping track, like record? Like,
Yes.
Of course I'm a video guy. So are you taking video? You need to start taking some video of this stuff with your phone, if nothing else.
Okay.
Send it to the cloud so that you have a documenting of the company from where it came from to where it's going.
Yes.
And so do you see this business being, you mentioned legacy for kids.
Yeah.
So do you see yourselves owning this for like the next until?
See, my grandkids afterwards, everybody.
All right. So you guys are not interested in selling this to nobody anytime soon or ever.
No.
That's good. That's good. We had Howard Baldwin was a guest. Jonathan had him on about the Whalers. And he was saying, you don't make your money on a sports franchise until you sell it. So the real money is made when you sell the franchise on the back end. Okay, so you build up the company, and then the value of the franchise, and then when you sell it, that's when you cash out. So you guys aren't thinking of cashing out. what?
We see it. Like you said, we're still learning. Maybe that'd be later on with the next generation.
June's over there in the corner. He says, "Well, we're still learning. You talk this opportunity to now. There's no sense in working ourselves to the bone. If we could get $250 million, and then the children can have a trust fund. So it's too bad we don't have a fourth camera set up because you can see June.
What are your families saying?
Families, everybody's happy. Like our kids interact, involved. They help us out with a lot of stuff. Like I never was a social media person, so my daughters and June kids, they all show us how to be active on social media. So the family love it. It's a good opportunity. Everybody's excited.
Everybody's drunk. Huh?
June, everybody. He's a comedian. If you don't know, he's a funny guy. All right. Well, June and Rupert, and the only other guy I know. Well, I know a couple of Ruperts. I was gonna say the only other Rupert I really know is a multi-billionaire. I don't know him. I just know who he is. And so that would be Rupert Murdoch. And so you guys are on your way to becoming very successful entrepreneurs in the distillery business.
Thank you.
And it's going to be interesting because now, would you all can you move the distillery, or is it always going to be in Branford?
We're not sure. The moment is, like I said, opportunities. It depends. Opportunities. We're in Connecticut. If certain part of Connecticut, yeah, but Branford is going to be most part right now.
All right, cool. All right. Any other questions, Cleo?
No, I don't have any good things. He's been an entrepreneur like forever.
Forever.
I always thought, I always saw him as a success. I mean, I always thought him as a guy going out there making money doing. And when I first met you, you were doing everything. You were working construction. You had your houses. You talked about your grandchildren and your children, and wow. And now here you are again.
Don't worry, Cleo. I won't let you down.
Oh, I know you're not gonna let me down. I know you're not gonna let me down.
We'll be successful.
Oh, I'm sure. I have no doubt. At all.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, we'll thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having us,
Rupert. It was a pleasure to meet you, and I look forward to seeing you at some point where you guys have a huge, on the front page of Black Enterprise or something like that, or some other big magazine in June. It's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. It's been since before the pandemic. Yeah. So it's good to see you in the flesh, in the real.
Did you have our social media and our website?
Yeah, give us your contact info.
Oh, social media. It's Branford.Distillery, and it's Branford-Distillery for the website.
Okay, so Branford-Distillery.com.
Yeah, com. Yeah.
All right, so Branford-Distillery.com, and that's the website, and all the information and contact that people need to get in touch with you is right there on the website.
The Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, everything is right there.
Okay.
You deliver?
To stores.
On the
website, yeah.
Website, you'll be able to see the location that carries our products.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. On the website, you see the locations and everywhere that carries your products and where you can find it. And the tastings.
All right.
It's any local places?
Yes.
In Hartford? Okay.
Yes.
All right. That's pretty cool. All right, my friends, we'll take a short break. Then Cleo and I will be back, and we'll wrap up the program from there. And onward we press. Thanks, guys, for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Oh yeah, we're back. I'm riding around the city on the official campaign vehicle, keeping it real, of course, bringing you the latest update, answering the biting question: where's Stan getting all his money? Last I heard, you can spend all the personal money you want on a campaign. So that's what we're doing. All right. If you think outside the box, if you really care about the people of Hartford, you find ways to be responsible and frugal with the money that you have. You see, we have really good people on our team. Our team members really, really love Hartford. They love what they do, and they're very good at it. So when you have the right team, you use the money that you have responsibly. Now, I've always made it a point to make the point that it doesn't take a lot of money to run an effective campaign. It takes innovation, it takes thinking, it takes creativity. And I think that's what you're seeing in the campaign that we have launched. And we're just getting started. Trust me when I tell you, we're just getting started right now. Okay? So you need lots of money if you're going to buy people. People are expensive. You have to buy them. You have to buy their integrity. And all of these things cost money. But with the original campaign vehicle, we were out and about, meeting and greeting people, talking to folks, letting them know about our 6-point plan, which you can check out at McCauleyformayor.com. All right? McCauleyformayor.com. Read about our path to impact. If you have questions, feel free to give me a call on my personal cell phone number, 860-944-9797. You can sit down, have a coffee. We can talk about why the incompetence that has been the hallmark of the city for the last several years, time has come, and how a new visionary leadership with the right people can bring Hartford to where it needs to be. All right? Requires your vote, though. And you gotta have some courage. Have the courage to vote your conscience. Vote J. Stan McCauley.
All right, welcome back. Morning Talk. All right, that was really kind of cool. The June, I haven't seen June in a more than a minute.
Yes.
Long time. Former vice president of the Greater Hartford African American Alliance. Pull your mic up.
You know, he has not even come into my mind until I saw him today. I said, wow, he has been missing. You know, some people go, you just keep on going, and you don't even realize they're not there until you see him again.
Yeah.
Until you see him again. That was nice seeing him.
It's good to see him. He looks the same.
Yes.
He looks the same. He called me the other day, and I said, well, you got to come on the program because it's fascinating. You are selling. I mean, you bought it. It's not every day you hear about two black men buying a distillery in Branford.
That's a big deal.
To me, that's a big deal, and there's this notion that black folk can't do stuff.
That's right.
Which is the most ridiculous notion.
I'm going back to that store today. I'm gonna buy something of theirs. I don't know. Is all of their liquors hard liquor?
I think they just do hard liquor. Yeah, hard liquor.
What was in that little bottle with the dark?
I think that was the whiskey.
That was whiskey?
Yeah. The bourbon. What they say, bourbon whiskey? I don't know. I don't know nothing about it.
How about the sake? That's like a wine.
I don't know. I don't know anything about spirits and liquors, and I just don't.
You know,
I just
go
don't
in the
know.
store.
I know like ginger beer, or like a hard ginger beer.
I went into that store and I like that liquor store. I went into that liquor store, and I went in to buy my little bottle of sherry, and he says, that's terrible. That's this and that's that. That's not really blah, blah, blah. He just went on of how that was not a good choice, you know. So I said, it's not. He says, no, I'll show you what is a better choice. So he showed, so I bought that. And then yesterday I went in, I had these two. One of them had a lemonade taste. I said, oh, I love lemonade. So I said, oh, I'll take this lemonade wine. And then there was another one, and I brought both of them up to the counter, and he says no to the lemonade. He says, no, that's horrible. No, take this. This is 100% bitter. Blah 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 blah. So I put that one back, and I took what he said. It was fine. It was fine. But I like going in talking because I don't know anything. And they know. I like to go into places where they could tell you about this wine and tell you about that wine. I don't talk liquor.
See, I for so long have been in that headspace of, of the taboo of the liquor store, that I wouldn't even go in. I can count the number of I think in my entire life I've been inside a package store or liquor store maybe 20 times. 20 times. That's the only time I've ever, because it's like, well, if you're seen in one,
it's like night.
It's like the end of the world. So, and that's not in reality. I think most of that is in my head more than anything
but
else.
It also is in where you go, because when I took the left turn and I went to the package store, I was very, very uncomfortable. And when I went in, the person who worked there looked at me like to say, "What are you doing here?" And so I asked them for what I wanted. They did have it, and I got out of there as quickly as possible. And all these people outside doing this, that, and the other thing. I said, I'm not ever going back in that store ever again, because that was very uncomfortable, which is 100% different than when you go to the other side and you go into that package store and you excuse me, talk to people. There are people in there that they just conversating and talking. They talk liquor. They talk day to day. It's like going into a familiar store that you usually go into, and everyone's upright and well, they look a little different. I'm not saying they just look their customers look a little different than the other customers in the other store. So I would prefer to go into a store that is not surrounded by people.
This is their website, and really nice website.
Yes.
And and they and it is a black owned family business, legacy, black owned, and their prices and the testimonials, events that they have going on. There's a tasting tonight at Taino's.
Oh.
And so if you check out their website, they got a newsletter, and you get in touch, and their phone number, sales. It's just I don't maybe it's me.
You have to pick and choose like everything, Stan.
I'm fascinated. I don't know why, but I find that I find it fascinating anytime someone steps out into a new adventure. And I'm more fascinated by the stepping out and the adventure than what the necessarily. I'm indifferent to what the adventure is.
Yes.
But the fact that they're stepping out and doing it is powerful to me. To me, that's exciting, and I love things that are when people do stuff that, like, you not doing it, but so what? It does not have to be something I do.
That's right.
It's something they do. I think that's cool.
Be glad for all that they do that you see, and that's what we're lacking in our communities. Uplifting of those who are really trying to do something and stepping out and backing them up. We are lacking in that.
Particularly if it's something different. I think we have a tendency that if it isn't something I do, or I like, or I approve of, then you're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. We're going to cancel you. We're going to stop you because I don't agree with it. Like, who the heck are you to have to agree with somebody? It's a fascinating concept of you 1 out of 8 billion people on the planet disagree. Therefore, all the other billions of folk
but look at how many people listen to that and pay attention to that and direct their lives behind other people who like and dislike.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a powerful thing. You can force a person because the person doesn't have the real will to turn around from their dream. I just seen so many people who walk away from their dreams.
Dream crushers. There are people who live to crush your dream.
Oh yes, I believe that. That's why I try my very best to stay away from negative people.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that comes out of their mouth is a negative thing.
That won't work. Oh, this is wrong. That won't work.
Yes.
I don't know why anyone would do that.
Yes. In the smart cracks, no matter what, never a conversation, just smart cracks and kicking you down all the time. I stay away from me. I can't be around them.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Well, look at the dream crushers as people who are there to help you get tougher. Think of them as the challenge that you've got to get over or around. But if you have a dream, you press it on, press forward. There was a Christian songwriter and performer. His name was Carmen Licadella. I think he was from Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. But I remember I went to one of his concerts. It was here in It was in the Hartford area. It was in Wethersfield. I want to say Wethersfield Congregational Church or Wethersfield. There was a church in Wethersfield where he came to perform. Or actually, I think it might have been at Wethersfield High School, and it was sponsored by the church, if I remember, because it was in an auditorium. And his concerts are free. Mm-hmm. He's done stadiums. He's passed on now, but he did like stadiums, civic center type things, and they were always free. And I remember him being very upset they were charging people at the door. It was a token fee, and I think the church was trying to recoup the cost of renting the facility. Mm-hmm. But he was very upset at the notion that there was a charge to get into his concert, and he addressed it from the stage. And I want to say he was almost demanding that they gave them their money back because Carmen concerts were free, and that was understood when he came. But the reason I bring him up is in one of his songs, he says the desire is the confirmation that the destination is there. God wouldn't put it in your spirit if it wouldn't go anywhere. The desire, is the confirmation that the destination's there. God wouldn't put it in your spirit if it wouldn't go anywhere. And so many people have a desire to do something, and then they let some clown knucklehead come and snatch that from you. See, that the whole idea of that infuriates me. it infuriates me. It brings out the malcontent in me with like someone stuck a hot poker in me, because it's like, how can I help you get your dream come to pass? I don't even need to like your dream or you. I'll still help you, because you're a unique person who has a desire. Your desire might save and change the world. But there's people who, because you are not aligned with them, that somehow to me it's laughable. But as you mentioned, for a lot of other folk, that's all they need, and then they stop. It's so sad.
My brother used to always say, "Don't worry, Cleo. They won't follow through. Don't worry. You won't have that many people. Just keep on going. Keep on going. They won't follow through."
Mm-hmm. Bring your mic. Yeah, a little closer to you.
So that was a nice visit. Nice to see you.
So, any plans for the weekend? Bring your mic up, Cleo.
Oh,
yeah.
I do have plans for the weekend. Yesterday was my anniversary. My wedding anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah, thank you. 20 years survived.
Wow.
20 years.
Congratulations.
I thought when I got married, when I was a little girl, that I would be married 50 years, and that I would be walking in the park with my husband, holding hands, and we would have been married 50 years. Of course, I'm not going to make the 50 years, but
you don't know that. 30
right.
years, you could do 30.
You think I can do 30?
Absolutely.
That's 106.
That's
100 something.
I intend to be 125
All
minimum.
Right. Maybe that'll be so. And then so I made it to this, but and then Saturday is my husband's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
So I made it this far. But the dream the dream never really came true. The dream, you mix the human dream of life never comes out right. You know what I'm saying? Those goals that you have when you're coming up, and things that they tell you that makes life perfect, they're all lies. I mean, it's nice to accomplish those things, but they're not gonna come out the way. Now life is complete because I have this, I have this, I have this, I have everything that they said I'm supposed to have. I have everything and so now my wants end, and everything is perfect. That don't happen. That does not happen. That does not happen.
Well, and I think that sometimes our we set up expectations and goals for ourselves that sometimes aren't realized, because sometimes those wants and goals are unrealistic. But I think it's better for the individual to find out how unrealistic they are than to have someone rob you from trying.
Well, those people who grew up like yourself in a house owned knew coming up that your parents really worked hard to keep that house going. You had to mow the lawn, they had to fix the roof, they had to do this, they had to do all those things. You saw that. You saw that. Well, I'm a project kid. We didn't do any of that stuff. The man came over and he might have done something here and there, and but the wonderful thing was to own a house.
The American dream.
The American dream. When you get your house and you got it all made, so you get the house. Then the roof flies. Then the roof flies off. And you come home and someone says to you, "Cleo, your roof's flying off." Oh my God, what do I do? the roof is flying off, or something else happens at the furnace, and you have no
Well, the house owns you. You don't own the house. The house owns you. The house is like a pet. It's looking for a human being to come in and take care of it.
Well, it took a while for me because I was slow. It took a while, so I'm screaming, "Oh my God, Daddy!" the roof is coming off. And so my father very calmly, he doesn't get excited. We call somebody and I pay him to put a new roof on, and then get this other guy. But it took, it was not fun owning this house. It was a whole lot of work and a whole lot of new experiences. And, and I said, well, where's the glory in this? They told me this would be wonderful. Well, how can it be wonderful? This is not wonderful. But now, for someone who knew that was coming, and I guess I knew it, but I didn't know it. You know it and you don't know it.
Well, I think home ownership probably, you kind of you semi made the connection or comparison really. Home ownership a lot like marriage. There's the fancy, romantic, idealistic of what it is, and then there's the reality.
The reality.
And so I think that I don't think there's anything wrong with having lofty expectations, as long as they're grounded in some sort of way. But I think people naturally have the
takes a
expectation it's going to be really great.
Is that growing up? It takes time, I guess. It just takes time, and it takes living.
Yes.
It takes living.
It takes living.
I look at my grandchildren. They say, they think things should be perfect, and I don't give a lot of advice because there's really not a whole lot of sense in that. But I always say life's life.
Life, yeah, that's
life is life.
Yeah,
and that's just what it is. Life is life. You got to deal with these things. Well, it wasn't like this. It's supposed to be. Life's life.
Was it Doris Day that had? She was the singer.
Yeah, Doris Day was a singer.
Her singing. Her husband ruined her. That was Doris Day, right?
Her husband ruined her?
Yeah, he squandered all her money. Que sera, sera. Who sang that? So, que sera, sera.
Doris Day.
That was Doris Day.
Yeah.
The future is not to be, not to see.
The future is ours. Something. Que sera, sera.
Right. What will be will be.
What will be.
But as you're talking, the song came to my mind. The wisdom of that simple song. What will be will be. The future's not ours to see.
The future's
so
not
just
ours
like
to see.
live life. When I get married, will this be?
When I was just a little girl, I asked my mother, "What will I be?
Right.
Will I be pretty? Will I be this? Will I be that?" Here's what she said to me. In case I never thought, yeah,
because that's as you get older, you realize that the best thing you can do is help younger folks be prepared for what may come, because you don't want to discourage anybody.
No.
And thank God for younger people who aren't jaded and turned off by the harshness of life, because they haven't experienced anything yet. So let them live in the excitement and encourage them, because someone's going to be that champion.
That's right.
Someone's going to do the.
In right after the war, World War II, and there was Korea, there was a lot of negativism, pessimism, and in that time there was still segregation and still, so a lot of old people or adults they could really kill your dream
Dream.
because
crushers.
they didn't have
Mm.
they lived in a different life and they didn't allow you to have your dream. It was a protective mode, I think.
Mm.
I think they were trying not to not for you to be sort of let down like they were let down, you know, and they would try to protect you with things, and they would say things like, you have to be better, you have to be this, you have to be that, because this is going to happen to you, and you heard it all the time. My parents didn't do that, but a lot of parents and a lot of adults did do that. Kind of drum things into your head, those negative thoughts into your head. It's different today. It's different. You don't find so much of that now as you used to.
I was trying to figure out why I can't see through the glass. They're filthy.
That'll do it, Stan. That'll do it.
So what is this so cloudy in there? Is there a glare? No, it's clean the glasses. Jeez. Yeah, you have dream killers, and you gotta hold on to your dreams. Find people who will help you champion those dreams, and seize the future. It is
That's right.
absolutely yours, and for you to control. Don't surrender. I tell people all the time, never surrender agency. Never surrender the agency of your vision or dream.
Keep on stepping. I think of that story a lot. Keep on stepping. Don't let anybody tell you who you are. You just keep on stepping. And that's really what we need to do.
Right. And as best you can, if your dream is independent of other people, you find a way to make your dream separate from other folks. And I don't mean it in the sense that like you're better than or you don't need other people, but to the degree that you can make it happen without other folks, the much more control you have. As June and Rupert were saying, this is something they have control over from ground up, from the grain to the bottle to the label design. Everything, the flavor, the taste, where it's distributed, who gets to carry their products, everything. They are in full control. And a lot of people think of that as control freak. Oh, you're just a control freak. You want to control everything. No. Someone's going to control it.
Why not me?
Someone has to control it. So it may as well be you. It's your vision, is your dream. So why would you surrender that to someone else? If you need someone else to make your dream a reality, then you will always be captive to them instead of steering the ship yourself. So I always try to encourage people, don't be dependent on someone else. There's nothing worse than the anchor of dependency.
Absolutely. I agree.
All right, we'll take another short break. This is something I came up with. I use artificial intelligence. AI. You know, everybody's talking about this AI and this artificial generated. So this is an artificially generated voice. And I've been experimenting with this with different productions and things because it's the emerging newest and latest and greatest technology and all this other stuff. And people are starting to see this emerge. So I've been experimenting with this. And so I used an artificial voice. I took my letter that I sent to the town committee. And I and it rendered, it speaks. It spoke the stuff. Now I'm not
What are you saying? You mean your letter actually spoke words?
I took the text
Mm-hmm.
Put it in the thing, and it generated the voice. And you can manipulate the voices, and it's so text to speech.
Said thing does not tell me what it is. You said you put it in the thing.
Well, there's a software. There's more and more software emerging.
Okay.
And the software, all you do is you type up what it is that you want to say. Mm-hmm. So, like, you would hire a voice actor, or you would do it yourself, which I absolutely could do. I could just use my own voice, but I get tired of hearing me, so I know other folk get tired of hearing me. So I says, I want a different voice, so I tried to use this. Now, you can get software where not only you type it up, but it generates a human being that talks. So there's a person talking. So I'm you can get way too deep in the weeds for this. I'm in the middle of a political campaign, really can't invest that kind of time in it, but I'm still intrigued by it. So I put this together using the artificial voice. And so there's a voice that narrates this.
Okay, let me hear.
And this is also give me a good excuse to put my wife picture on the screen. That's my heart. There's the sweetness. She's the most distracting thing in the world. She's not a thing, but I lose every control of everything just at her presence. That's why she never comes in here, If she came in the studio, everything would stop. It always does. Just seeing her now makes everything stop. All right, let me stop.
Oh, wow, Stan.
Mm-hmm. I got it bad. Yeah. I'm madly in love with her.
I guess so.
The children get mad with me. Will you all stop? All right, here we go.
Stan McCauley says before he would ask for your vote for mayor, he wants you to know who he is, what he stands for, and how he plans to lead Hartford forward.
Dear Hartford Democratic Town Committee, I enthusiastically seek your endorsement for mayor of the city of Hartford. I believe I have the requisite experience and skill set needed to advance us toward a better Hartford. Hartford is at the crossroads. It is teetering on a precipice of falling into complete neighborhood and social decline. We see the symptoms: lack of civility, littering, reckless driving, gun violence, low voter turnout, citizen apathy, to name a few. Just going back to business as usual wouldn't be enough to prevent more of the same. We need to create breakthrough community momentum for all our kids. We need to find ways to deal constructively with the issues that affect us all. We need strong communities and strong people. This means investing in strategies that build community stability and resilience. The change we seek is best undertaken by residents hand in hand as opposed to waiting for some outside force to change their circumstances. Sustaining progress requires residents to be committed to the vision for the city and feel a personal connection to making it work. By moving from the mindset of change being done for to change being done with means we must fundamentally realign our priorities in city governance. As an accomplished nonprofit leader, business owner, convener, and community builder, I have been privileged to contribute to the growth of Hartford. As a knowledgeable observer and translator of municipal government, having videotaped hundreds of mayoral, council, and school board meetings for almost 3 decades, as a documentarian and interviewer of every Hartford mayor since Georgia Thinson, I have been part of fine-grained community advocacy in all 17 Hartford neighborhoods, with a grassroots awareness few can rival. My experience in community advocacy has taught me valuable lessons in leadership, including the power of organizing constituencies, offering a compelling vision, and promoting the inclusion and well-being of all residents. Hartford will thrive with a mayor with diverse skills, a depth of knowledge of city issues and relationships with the people, so together, we can collaborate, innovate, take on challenges, and create opportunities as one Hartford. I believe I have that unique combination of talents and experiences that make for an excellent 68th mayor of the city of Hartford. I thank you for taking the time to consider me as a mayoral candidate and looking forward to our conversation.
Yeah.
You sent that to him with a voice, or you just?
Well, no. That was a letter. We sent them a letter.
Oh, you sent them.
That's the letter that was sent. Yeah.
But you could also talk the letter and it'll write it, right?
Oh, you can speak the letter, and the letter will write. But there's a really cool software, and the software is actually free. And it's an editing software.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the components of the software is the text to speech. And it's really, 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 really powerful, and it's really good, and it's free. Now, you can pay lots of money for different software, and it sounds real mechanical and digital.
Mm-hmm.
But it's done in the cloud, and you have to subscribe. And if you want the upper end voices that put inflections and sounds happy and sad and all those kinds of things, you have to pay more and more and more and more. And it's a monthly subscription. This is an added benefit to the editing software. It's not sold for the voice to text. It's sold for it's a free editing application. It's from Microsoft. But the speech to text portion of it is like the bomb. It's the bomb.
So it's who Microsoft does it?
It's a Microsoft software. Yes. Mm-hmm. It's called Clip Champ.
And you can get it on your phone.
No. This is for your computer.
And you can get it on your computer.
Yeah. Clip Champ. It's a Microsoft application.
So and it's free.
Free. It's free.
And it's, let me get a pen.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah. Clip Champ. Well, I mean, I'll show it to you before you leave.
Oh, wait. Clip Chain.
Clip Champ.
Clip Champ.
Clip.
All right.
Clip Champ.
Okay, you show it to me before.
It's Microsoft. Bring it up on the screen. Starting up Microsoft here, and it's Microsoft. Let me there we go. And this is it here. And these are the different voices.
Priority number 6. Priority number 5. Priority number 3.
Now you can go into this up here. You drop. Wait. Here. See, nowhere on here does it say, clip the text to voice or voice. So you click here, and then one of the selections is that text to speech. All right, and so now there's all kinds of languages, there's all kinds of inflections to English, there's Arabic, Afrikaans, which is the South African the language of South Africa. It's Afrikaans, that's the official language. Among others. But there's Uruguayan Spanish, U.S. Spanish, Spanish.
So you can speak it in English and it'll write it in a different language.
You could put text, and it will. Well, you know what? Let's see. So let's do this. Let's pick Spanish. All right, which is a language I'm going to learn in 4 years to be conversationally fluid in Spanish in 4 years. Let's use Spanish from Dominican Republic. All right. So now let's type hello. Because I don't know whether hello, how, R-Y-O-U. So I don't know whether this is going to give a Spanish inflection or accent, or whether it's going to translate to the language. So let's preview it.
Hello, how are you?
See this? No. So if you want it to be in the language,
You have to write it in the language.
you have to write it in the language. So this is not translating. However, we could take hello, how are you? Copy. Oh, okay, copy. You could go to
But she did say it with an accent, right?
she said it with an accent, but we could go to Google Translate and we could put hello, how are you? And would translate it to Spanish. Then we could copy this, go back here, paste, and now listen.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Now I could I would translate all kinds of stuff, but the problem is that there's no way to verify what is being said is actually accurate, because the translation isn't necessarily all that good. But I don't know.
You don't.
So and the one thing I don't like cultural appropriation. You know, folk be doing virtue signaling by translating stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're the person that speaks the language and the translation ain't right, then you know that this is not. I guess it's a half-hearted attempt, but it's, if you're gonna do it right. So you really need to hire a translator, someone who speaks, and it needs to be you need to be sensitive to who it is you're communicating to, because the Spanish that's spoken in Spain is different than the Spanish that's spoken here in Hartford.
Mm-hmm.
So when you translate, is it a computer translating with the words being wrong? That's not how we would say it here, so to speak. So a lot of things, but all of this technology is getting better and better, and it's just fascinating at the possibilities that you could that are available. But that's pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
And that took all of but a few seconds.
So pay attention. Pay attention. I'm trying to pay attention now because I tried to ignore. I still have my pencil and my pad in my hand all the time, but I'm trying to pay attention. Maybe I can learn something.
The technology is out there, and then
Yes.
with this with the chat stuff that's out there now, and you could tell it what you would like it to do. I need you to write me an article about give me an article about life in Hartford, and it'll render a whole subject matter about life in Hartford with, so like, is this something that you wrote, or is this something that artificial intelligence generated based upon your desire to have the outcome, taking data from all over and putting this together? And so, when it comes to people doing homework or reports, is it them, or is it the artificial intelligence generating the data?
Wow. So now it's a bigger deal.
Yes. So for schools like colleges, high schools, kids doing reports, how do you know that this is the report that Billy and Tyshawn actually did?
They'll find a way.
Mm-hmm.
Something else will come up to figure that out. That's how that's gonna happen.
So, a lot of new emerging technology. Lots of emerging technology.
Well, I hope we don't just adapt to technology and we stop thinking on our own.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a danger there.
I agree with you. I really do. Because once upon a time, technology is a tool to help you, but now it's like you're helping technology. You're the tool the technology needs, and as people become less and less capable, it's just, you kind of like, people becoming where all they want to do is just enjoy and be luxuriated, if there's such a word. You just sit in the lap of luxury and just don't do anything, and everything is done for you.
You become a vegetable. You can become a vegetable.
That's the way it would seem to me. Just almost like being plugged in and just sitting in the chair, and your mind is seeing all this stuff, and you're just zoned out.
We see a lot of that now with kids not knowing how to add or how to use math, or you go to the store, and if the computer's down, they can't give you change because they can't figure out what the change is. That doesn't, and you're sitting there saying, give me my 75 cents. you don't want to say it's 75 cents.
75. It's I gave you $1. It's 25 cents, and then you can give me 75 back. I don't know, the receipt, the machine usually will tell me how much to give you back. I don't want to do this on my own.
Or I try to figure out what my change is before they give it to me. She should give me, $7.63. And she does that very fast if there's the machine there. But if the machine doesn't, she doesn't do it.
Shut down. You'll get pencil and paper.
She can't do that.
Well, we don't think, and it's a detriment. Critical thinking is something that is essential.
That means somebody else is pulling the strings. Somebody else is.
Right. If you don't think, then we can tell you how to think and what to think.
That's right. That's right.
And you will stop thinking.
And you'll stop thinking. Oh my.
All right, my friends. So we're out of time. We're absolutely out of time. Okay, so. Great program, Miss Cleo.
Thanks. Now I have to go to my lady and do some OT.
All right. So I'm gonna play this one commercial, and then we'll be out. Y'all have a regular, fabulous rest of your week, and we will see you here next week, and we'll do it all once again. All right. Y'all have a fabulous rest of your day. Bye-bye now.
Oh, yeah. We're back. Out riding around the city on the official campaign vehicle. Keeping it real, of course. Bringing you the latest update. Answering the biting question. Where's Stan getting all his money? Last I heard, you can spend all the personal money you want on a campaign. So, that's what we're doing. All right? If you think outside the box, if you really care about the people of Hartford, you find ways to be responsible and frugal with the money that you have. You see, we have really good people on our team. Our team members really, really love Hartford. They love what they do, and they're very good at it. So when you have the right team, you use the money that you have responsibly. Now, I've always made it a point to make the point that it doesn't take a lot of money to run an effective campaign. It takes innovation, it takes thinking, it takes creativity. And I think that's what you're seeing in the campaign that we have launched. And we're just getting started. Trust me when I tell you, we're just getting started right now. Okay? So you need lots of money if you're going to buy people. People are expensive. You have to buy them. You have to buy their integrity. And all of these things cost money. But with the original campaign vehicle, we were out and about, meeting and greeting people, talking to folks, letting them know about our 6-point plan, which you can check out at McCauleyformayor.com. All right, McCauleyformayor.com. Read about our path to impact. If you have questions, feel free to give me a call on my personal cell phone number, 860-944-9797. You can sit down, have a coffee. We can talk about why the incompetence that has been the hallmark of this city for the last several years, time has come, and how a new visionary leadership with the right people can bring Hartford to where it needs to be. All right? Requires your vote, though. And you gotta have some courage. Have the courage to vote your conscience. Vote J. Stan McCauley.